like a good team that hasn't been to the playoffs before?
I mean, TCU.
All right, TCU.
Okay. I mean, I was thinking SEC
All right,
schools.
let's take TCU. They just did it, right?
Sure.
They got ran through like shit through a tin horn from the second quarter on defense. Do you think Sonny Dykes was pissed off about winning that game Saturday?
No.
He did not care.
No.
You know, when Georgia finally got over the hump and got into the championship game, they didn't care. They're just glad to win. Doesn't matter. Now, when you start complaining about winning semifinal games, that's when you know you're pretty good. But it's hard. It's easy to get to the top. I've always said that. It's easy to get to the top. It's harder to stay there. And that's just how it is. Last thing I want to talk about, and we'll get out of here because I know you got people coming. Building a roster.
Yep.
I think it's a little more difficult than people understand out of this portal.
Oh, it's very hard.
And this is why. I made the comment to somebody on your board a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, I don't remember. If you want to, what is the one thing that everybody that wins championships have in common?
Great players.
But where are the great players?
Quarterback, defensive line, offensive tackle.
Quarterback, offensive line, defensive line. Skill guys are a dime a dozen. They really are. You can go get, just look at the portal. Some of the most touted guys that you're looking for are coming out of Group of 5 schools.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yep.
Skill guys are a dime a dozen. Big boys aren't.
Oh, it's hard to find any of them.
Big boys aren't.
It's changing the high school recruiting game now. The price of the price of the offensive tackle, the defensive lineman, is skyrocketing.
If you look in the portal right now, offensive linemen are getting outnumbered by every other player 10-1. Everybody in the portal are skill guys. Linemen, 10-1. I'm talking about there's 10 more skill players per one offensive lineman. Think about that.
Yeah.
And so when you're trying to go sign linemen out of the portal, good luck to you. Because if they are any good in the portal, you ain't getting them. Because everybody else wants them too.
Right.
And it's the same thing. I used to joke. It was like being an offensive lineman in JUCO 10 years ago. If you were a mid-year JUCO offensive lineman 10 years ago, man, you could be shitty and go get a big-time offer because you're a mid-year offensive lineman JUCO kid. It's the same thing. Offensive linemen, they're very difficult to find. And so what I'm saying is this. If you want to go get some skill guys out of the portal, go ahead. It's cool. But if you want to build a championship winning team, there's two kinds of things, right? You can go play for getting mayonnaise dumped on your head, and that's cool.
Sure.
That's cool.
Sure.
But you know what's a lot cooler is raising the big trophy. That's a lot cooler.
If you want to do it, you're going to have to hit the high school recruiting differently, and you're going to have to be program building, and you have to there's no question in my mind. It's program building and using the portal as free agency. It is building a baseball team. Everyone's going to have to follow the Alex Anthopoulos mode.
Hey, look at you, man. You're turning into a Braves fan already.
Well, I respect a lot of what he does because he takes some chances in free agency, but he also is building a core rapidly, and he keeps building the core. He takes some chances in building it because, look, I'm trying to think of an example. The catcher they just traded for, Murphy.
Yeah, Sean Murphy.
You give Murphy a long-term deal, and who knows? You're maybe he gets hurt. Maybe he gets hurt, and it ends up being a trash contract. But it was worth the gamble because if it's not, you locked him up 3-4 years past free agency. So I'll get it back to football. You have to build I'm convinced of this. You have to build the base of your program through high school recruiting and development. And then you can supplement, like you said. You can go get a wide receiver. You can go get a safety. You can go get a corner. You can get a running back.
Hey, you can get a quarterback these days.
You can.
Starting quarterback.
You can. But your base, your lines of scrimmage, they almost have to be internal. They have to be developed. That has to become the heart of your team. And if you don't do that, you're going to do it the other way, where you're going to have this flashy exterior, and yet when someone pokes it, it's like as a kid, right? You'd get that at Christmas, not Christmas, at Easter, you'd get the chocolate egg.
That looked good and it was hollow in the middle.
Yeah, and you're like, God, this is going to be awesome. And then you'd bite it, and it was hollow. Like, oh, shit.
It did always the best looking chocolate was always hollow in the middle.
Because you
That's
wanted the
great.
one that was you wanted the one that had the chocolate in the inside too.
Yeah.
And because that was the good egg. And this is going to be a whole lot of that where it's like, man, that looks fancy. And then you chop it, and it's like, God damn it, it's one of the hollow ones. And so, and look, this is not a criticism because some coaches, it's only been a couple of years.
Yeah.
But I think they see it now.
Here's the thing. This is my theory. Okay. This will buy you a cup of coffee the next time you come to the office. Skill players love attention. They want the ball. They want the limelight and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So they like the recruiting process and they like the portal process and all that stuff. The tightest group, the most, they don't get attention anyway, is the offensive line. They're brothers. They're together. I think the loyalty aspect is more to the position group. I mean, that's just how they're made, man. I mean, every offensive line in America, they're close. They don't want to leave their buddies. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like, there's a thing to that.
Sure.
I think that has a lot to do why there's not guys leaving. And, like, look, we recruit him here. I'll go ahead and tell you, like, Jeremy James, who is here at Ole Miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much money he could make if he decided to go in the portal?
Oh, I mean, he'd be in demand.
I mean, you're talking about an SEC offensive lineman that started, what, for 3 years now?
Yeah, 3 years.
He'd go wherever he wanted to go.
Yeah.
And get paid.
Sure.
But he doesn't care about that. Nick Broker could have gone in last year.
Oh.
And gone anywhere he wanted to go.
God, we could have had a bidding war.
Could have had a bidding war. But they don't, that's not their mentality.
Right.
Now, let's go and take let's take a skill player that's really good. Somebody's going to pay him. Because if you don't pay him, somebody else is. And you look here at Ole Miss, Quinshawn Junkins. They did a great job getting him locked in, right? Getting him paid. What do you think would have happened if they decided, hey, we're not going to give you anything? What do you think he's doing? You think he's loyal to Ole Miss or he's loyal to the paycheck?
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to pay his ass a lot of money. I just think it's a different mentality based on the position. But I'll tell you this, if from a roster building standpoint, you better go heavy high school on offense and defensive lineman. Because if you're a really good defensive lineman, it's going to cost you to get them too. Probably cost you more out of the portal than it would in high school recruiting. So what's my guy at Texas A&M? One of the good ones just went in the portal. One of the high school kids from last year that played, number 8, I think.
Oh, the defensive lineman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right
Watch
now.
how much
Kid from
money,
Arizona. Yeah.
Watch how much money he gets because he's a dude. A dude defensive lineman.
Yeah, I loved some of the. I mean, I made a note of it in our recruiting note thread that we do every day, but I can just see some of the stories would make sense at. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna get made sense at everywhere, bud. Everybody is recruiting him.
Where does a really good dominant defensive lineman not make sense?
Just
nope, don't want one of those
idiots, man. I mean,
seriously. I mean, some of the takes, man. Like, it's like you see the everybody's there's a lot of angst amongst Alabama fans with Pete Golding, right?
Sure.
That you can't play defense anymore. And Kirby was talking about this the other day. You can't play good defense anymore. What's a good defensive coordinator these days? What would you define as a good defensive coordinator these days?
It's just someone who can put a defense together that doesn't get lit up like a Christmas tree, that can get off the field on occasion.
Well, I mean, they're all getting lit up like Christmas trees now. I mean, it's just you have your – it's like I would hate to be a defensive coordinator right now. Like you're so dependent. We were joking, laughing, dying about this the other day. I can't make this shit up, Neal. When I first started coaching, we had a offensive goal board, right? You know, in your staff, this is what if we do this. You know what number one on our goals were for offense? Score 24 points.
I was going to say 24 points.
Mm-hmm. 24 points. Because we went back, and if you scored 24 points in a game, you would at least win 9 games. Think about that.
Yeah. Now that no
dude, you may
the
not
case.
win a game.
Yeah.
If you score 24 points, and the game has just changed that much to where what's a good defensive coordinator anymore? And like you look at some of these service academies, their defensive coordinators get pumped up because they're running the damn triple option, and their numbers are so good, right? And so they're like, "Oh, this guy's a stud." I mean,
Then he goes to someplace else.
yeah, you go and you get lit up when you go with an air raid offense. But like, what's a good, and it's like this whole discussion about 3 down versus 4 down, and there was a lot of angst around here about going from 3 down, got to throw go to 4 down. What does that solve? Can anybody, like everybody that says to go to 4 down, they don't realize that 90% of football plays 3 down. It's not about what scheme you're running. Hell, you could run 1 down. It matters who the hell you got over there making tackles. I bet 3 down works pretty good if you got Harold Perkins back there. Bet shit works pretty good.
Yeah, it's all about players, man.
It's all about dudes, man.
It's all about players. And when you
Hey, Georgia plays 3 down, by the way. I don't know if anybody knew that.
Well, when your offense is going, and this isn't a criticism at all, but when your offense is going super fast, it's like one of the first questions that who was it? I think it was Jeff Lebby when he interviewed with somebody at a place that he ended up not going. But I found out about it. Someone told me about it. He asked the coach, he said, "So you like the offense. I get it. You like the pace and stuff. What happens the first time we go 3 and out and it took 17 seconds?" Because that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because the coach has got to be like, no, we're cool. I mean, I realize it's cool because that's going to happen. And your defense was out there for 6 minutes, and they gave up a field goal. The offense drove down the field on them. They gave up a field goal. They come over, and they're huffing and puffing. And you get the ball, 1st and 10 at the 25. Quick pass. Get back. 4th and 2. We got to punt.
Yeah.
Hey, defense, going back out because there's going to be some grumbling.
Yeah.
In September when it's 97 degrees.
It's about points per possession. Like those teams like Tennessee, they score a lot of points, but they have like 10 more possessions a game than some schools.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about points per possession. And so the whole point of tempo is we're going to create a bunch of possessions and we're going to try to outscore you because we can be more explosive. The point of going tempo offense is you think you can it basically makes it an offense versus offense game and not a full team game. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So anyway, kind of is what it is. You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. We'll stop there. Appreciate everybody in the stream. Sorry for it's not my fault. Sorry for the.
I'm starting to think it's me. Like the last 5 times we've done. Seriously, we haven't done since I've done this show. So I'm like 6 in a row with some technical. I may have had some damn bad juju.
It might be you because when Chase and I are in here, there's no problem.
I know.
When I'm by myself, there's no problem. But you come in and it's like the end of the damn world.
Oh, we're back live again?
Yeah, I got it going again.
Did you?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Look
Just
at there.
New streams. Whatever.
So that's the 3rd stream today.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
All right, I'll be gone until I'll be back Wednesday next week.
Okay, we'll put
we'll figure it out.
Probably shoot for next Thursday. We'll do a show next Thursday. We'll preview the NFL playoffs, which I presume will be starting at that point. We opened with Damar Hamlin. I will read this. It's somewhat encouraging if I can find it.
Oh, you got an update?
It's a little bit of an update. I don't think it's I don't think it's breaking news necessarily. This is ESPN this morning, and I'm reading this at 12:09 p.m. Doctors saw promising signs of progress overnight from Damar Hamlin, who remained hospitalized in critical condition. As of Wednesday morning, Jordan Rooney, who is his marketing director friend, told ESPN's Coley Harvey that Hamlin is still in the ICU at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. He said that Hamlin is still sedated, but doctors saw promising readings overnight from him that they had hoped to see by Wednesday morning. Hamlin's agent, Ron Butler, told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler on Tuesday night that Hamlin's oxygen levels had improved. Obviously not out of the woods, but look, at this point, you take anything any positivity, you cling to it as a sign of hope. So we are certainly hoping and praying for Damar Hamlin, for his family, his Bills family, the Bengals, T. Higgins, all the people that were involved in that. Not that they're listening to this show, but in the event that something gets back to them, know that we're thinking of you. So many people are. It's been evidenced by the fundraising for the GoFundMe for his toy drive, which is, went from $2,000 to $6 million. Don't let anybody tell you that there's no decency left. There's plenty.
No, they're out there.
They're out there. All right. For Tyler, I'm Neal. That does it for this episode of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. We'll be back in about a week, and then we'll start getting back into our schedule when Tyler gets back from Charlotte. We start kind of figuring out what we're doing in January and moving forward. So until then, take care.